Ladies and gentlemen, it is I, Tetcher, and welcome to my new show, which I had some very good suggestions for a name for, including some clever guy who came up with challenges, which turned out as challenge for this week is, and stuff like that. But instead, I just went with the simple suggestion that someone gave me of Tetcher's Community Challenge. This is a show where I give you guys a challenge every week, and then you guys send me replays to replays@tetcher.co.uk. I pick the best ones, and I do a show of them. It was going to be, for at least this week, just 3 replays in one episode. But I got so many fantastic replays that I just couldn't avoid them all. Also, thank you guys for sending me replays. There was so many. Most of my week this week has been spent either studying for like Tetcher Teachers or playing the game, or all of my free time has been spent watching replays while eating, watching replays. I wake up, I watch replays. It's just so many replays, and it's been fantastic, guys, and thank you very much. So what I have done here, excuse me, is I have picked one of every hero that it was possible to do this on, and I'm going to separate these out into 2 replays every section, and I'm going to release those one a day, but I will give out next week's challenge at the end of every single part. So today will be part 1, tomorrow will be part 2, etc. So this will also fill out a bit of extra content for you guys, and eventually I can probably cut down a little bit because I'm running out of builds on it. So I might cut that down to once a week or something similar. Heavy meta, we still have quite a few heroes to go through, but once again, once we get to the end of that, we'll cut down on that and we'll introduce something new and interesting for you guys. So let's actually get to it. The challenge for this week was I asked you guys to send me your replays of your full damage support. And some of you don't understand what that means. I had a lot of replays where people would send me, like, I had like 5, 6 replays of people sending me Lilies where they would take Jug of 1,000 Cups. Like, why? You know what you're doing. But luckily, we have prepared this time, so let me begin to load up the first replay that we're going to be getting into here, because I did say I did get quite a lot, so I've got 6 replays here for me to show you, 1 for each of the heroes as possible on. I did exclude Tastar and Tirada because we see them a lot. So let's start loading into this first replay and get this underway. This is by J Hunter, and we're going to pop in here. So let's head into the game here, and we'll pause just as we start. So let's have a look at our heroes here. We have Stork is playing the Zeratul. We have Varels sounds good on the Murky. J Hunter, who is our hero amongst heroes and who will be following for most of this game, on the Lily. Mr. Pumps, that is fantastic, on the Gazlo, and Kadazko on the Jaina. And their opponents, we'll have a quick look over here. It is Itsuka on the Karazim here, Avionics on the Zeratul, Deergoth on the Falstad, Braden on the Asmodan, and Ducky on the Tychus. So we're going to jump onto our hero's view here, so we can't see the enemy's view, and we're going to jump into this game as much as possible. Let's bring up the talent tab to see what our level 1 talent is on our hero here, and we will fast forward a bit so that we can get to some exciting points. And let's fast forward a bit more, because right now everyone's AFK. There we go. Gale Force. Increase the damage of Blinding Wind by 50%. Now this is the start of the full damage build here, and it's going to be guys because they are against a Falstad who's going full auto attack. Right now, trying to duel here, Stork taking a bit of damage. J Hunter, with that extra movement speed from his passive, is not going to be in a huge amount of danger here. Sorry, my throat is still a bit dead from yesterday. It's a bit better now, but you may have to deal with that a little bit. For now, J Hunter, still fine. He is still Lily, still gets his own healing of numbers. And we'll fast forward here until we get to a bit of action. Right now, Zeratul's dueling each other. Lily trying to do damage, but right now, not dealing too much damage. We can actually have a look here. She's already top of the hero damage, but not able to really pick anyone off or get any kind of kills there. So not really working out for a Tychus. Also ahead of her, she's keeping up with him quite nicely, but nothing too significant there. And they're still level 1, so we're going to fast forward here, see if we can get ourselves up to level 4 quite quickly. Lily dueling with Karazim at the moment, already chasing him away. Not having too much trouble with him there. First Immortal, ready and waiting for both teams. Lily on her pleb horse here, coming in, just going to chase back the Asmodan. Not too much trouble, and finds Karazim. Lily, with her blind, is pretty good against Karazim. She can deny that deadly reach. And right now, chasing him back, already forcing him to back away from her team's support. She has no mana, so fighting Asmodan with his laser is a very poor choice. But not in any huge danger. Able to just back away from that without any problems. Just being back to base at the moment. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Let's fast forward, get back into the fight with our Lily. And looks like they have lost their Jaina, but Lily coming in once again, just protecting her own Immortal here, and has hit level 4. For now, though, just dueling has already managed to blind the Falstad, and is doing the best she can to just try and catch someone out here. You can see just Asmodan really in view here, so just trying to get any damage as possible. She has the increased duration of Blinding Wind, which is going to be nice versus Zeratul and that Falstad, and the Karazim, in fact. And they're able to get the Asmodan. Karazim currently fighting with a turret, but has now met Lily. Nice damage there, 123. Able to force him back, and we're also seeing Falstad having a little bit of trouble getting into this and really getting anything done. So Lily finding a Zeratul, once again able to chase him away, get the blind on him, and get a little bit of damage done. Gonna hit the fast forward button again, and Lily again finding Karazim, able to push him back here. Zeratul in the back line. Lily and Zeratul together will be able to finish him off, and Lily still does have her heal abilities. She's now fighting basically two people, the Tychus and the Falstad, able to blind the Falstad but not the Tychus, and is now just dancing between turrets. Murky's lost his egg, so he has to get out of there. Jay Hunter looking for blood. Zeratul doing a very good job here, but Jay Hunter dueling an auto-attack Falstad and immediately forcing him to back up, going in for the kill, but not able to chase him. Instead, we see Valis doing the chase instead. Brayden getting called out. Jay Hunter actually pulling up the kill there. And Murky with no egg still having to back up there. Jay Hunter going to help push back that Karazim. Murky's still not picked his level 4 talent, and he's in fact level 6. So we're just going to pop forward in time here now that Lily has some of her mana back. And she is able to save Jada this time, but especially thanks to the blind on Karazim. Jada in full retreat. Jay Hunter, our hero, taking a bit of damage, able to get out of there, but unfortunately did get picked off in the end. And Murky, once again, 2 levels late, did pick Living the Dream. We're just following Mr. Pumpson here because that's who got put on automatically, and we'll get thrown back onto Lily when she is alive, as we saw there. Let's get back into the fight. And we can see that was a bit of a weird Immortal there. Not able to heal up the Murky, instead just doing whatever she can. Just trying to get any of this work done as possible. And this is still the first Immortal phase, by the way. Both of these teams have been trying to get these Immortals for quite a while now. Jay Hunter moving in again. He is now level 7, has taken Lightning Serpent, so his attacks will bounce, so they can do a bit of extra splash damage. And this should inflate the damage stats pretty nicely. Once again on the defense, but not enough to save that Immortal. And the first Immortal does go over to the red team. Jay Hunter just dealing a bit of harass here. Nothing too serious, but just little bits of damage. And they're in fact able to get Tychus pretty nicely thanks to the combination of turrets and Jay Hunter. And now finish off Asmodan. So despite losing the first Immortal, they are still in a pretty good position to take control of the majority of the fights here and have a level advantage. So they're just on the defensive here, able to clear that up pretty nicely and pretty quickly. Jay Hunter chasing onto that Karazim, already forcing him back. Karazim not having a fun game so far. Has been basically blinded every single time that the fight has happened. He's just grabbing some mana here. Fast forward through a bit of wave clear. I'm actually going to pop down to the bot lane here and see what is happening. There is a bit of action that Lily is not seeing. Zeratul being forced to blink out here, as blue team pretty much on the defense, especially thanks to Asmodan. Lily just chilling up in the top lane with Falstad. Not losing too much, just doing some nice dodges. The Zeratul's having a bit of a barley here. Stork having to blink away. Lily not really noticing this yet, and is now finally just going to start fighting Falstad, forcing him to back up. Zeratul choosing not to go in for the finishing hit. Jay Hunter in retreat. He does have that extra speed thanks to his trait. Heals himself up, and even though he doesn't have his heal abilities, he is still Lily. So he is able to back away from this and keep himself alive pretty nicely. And they're now moving back in for another fight. Blind lands onto Karazim here, and we're seeing the Falstad take a lot of damage. Here comes the Water Dragon, but he dies too quickly. No, the Water Dragon did land and did slow Ducky, but they weren't able to capitalize on it. So unfortunately, our Lily did bite the dust there and didn't really get to use her first Water Dragon to as much effectiveness as she would probably like to see. In the bottom of the map, we can still see little bits of action going on here and there. They're just trying to push here. Gasso trying to combo, not the best timing on it, but at least he tried. At least he threw it down. Unfortunately, it means it's not ready for a situation like now when he needed it, or ready for the Immortal fight. And Jada, also in a bit of trouble, is going to go down. Her Water Elemental, still there unused, but she now has it for when she is back alive. Let's head back over to Lily. She is dealing with this Immortal at the left-hand side of the map, just trying to take that down as quick as possible. And Zeratul is there. There's the Water Dragon. Zeratul gets out of it. Instead, it hits Karazim. Dayhunter will get stunned by the Immortal here. Zeratul went down because he was still weakened too much. There's the blind on Karazim, so he can't heal himself now with his Transcendence because of that blind, because his auto attacks are no longer hitting. So because of that, they're able to chase him down. He pops Divine Palm, but they're not done with him yet. This attack continues to chase him down. He finally manages to use his Radiant Dash to escape here. But Dayhunter going super aggressively here, and he's just healing mostly himself here, but still doing a fair amount of damage, continuing to chase, gets a double hit there, and with the Water Elemental slowing Falstad, he's going to be able to get the kill very nicely. Very good job by Dayhunter there, and unfortunately, he is now in retreat there. And this is a situation that we've all found ourselves in, where you are in a point where you have managed to get a kill onto someone who you really shouldn't. Just like, well, I'm Lily, and I've just managed to out-duel Falstad, and just got a huge push in and done a really good job. And then Zeratul appears, it's just like, oh god, they have other heroes. I didn't think about other heroes. And this is the situation that Lily is feeling right now, where she has been caught out, basically, and not been in a... not got herself in a fun position. So we're just going to play this from here and see if she's able to get out of it. She has Jada with her. There's the Void Prism. Zeratul actually taking a lot of damage. So she is able to get out of that, but that is a situation that could have turned very dicey very quickly. But that is a situation, don't overextend. If any of you watched the MRR DK game today, MRR just gave the perfect example of do not overextend. But we're just going to continue watching this. Jayhunter, once again, being back, so we're going to fast forward until he gets back into these fights. Bit of action happening here, and it's very hard to keep up with the action when you are at full speed, because I was hitting the fast forward button as opposed to the slow down button, but we didn't miss too much. We just saw Jaina go down. Jayhunter able to just tank up that Hinterland Blast, because there is no ability power bonus to it. It's just a little bit of extra damage. Getting chased down, but once again, the extra movement speed from her trait, able to keep her nice and safe. And now we're seeing, once again, Karazim getting completely wiped down to no health again, and Lily continuing to chase. She has those bouncing attacks. She's doing quite a lot of damage in this fight. Zeratul dropped low and gets healed up by Lily. Lily, thinking about chasing Karazim, instead turns on to Falstad. Gonna try and get him. Jayhunter just going very aggressively. He has a talent. Does get the blind off, but didn't take the, I believe the slow talent's available on this one. Surging Winds, no, I believe it is this one or the other level, we'll find out. Surging Winds gain 5 ability power for 8 seconds for hitting an enemy with Blinding Wind. So she's only hitting 2 enemies. They also got Asmodan there, Zeratul diving very deep. But it's only hitting 2 targets as opposed to the 3 targets. So it's still not too bad. It's an extra 10% ability power onto that Water Dragon that Lily can use. And Lily's base currently under attack. She's arrived just in time to not save it. So is now getting ready to just go into some form of combat. She finds Zeratul, gets the blind on him. Murky, going for his combo, does not get his Octograb off onto the Zeratul there. And that just leaves Jayhunter, our hero, to defend against these Impalers, to defend him. And with those bouncing attacks, is able to do that quite effectively. And we can see here, look at how quickly that siege damage is going up, thanks to that bouncing Water Dragon. And the fact that Jayhunter is also currently top of hero damage on his team. Above Jada, above Zeratul, above Gazlo. He is the big dog in terms of hero damage, doing a fantastic job here at keeping on top of things. So I'm going to pop forward in time again. They found Karazim again. They're going to try and lock him down. And here comes the Water Dragon to try and do it. A 40% slow to try and finish him off. Actually, I think it's 70%. Yes, 70% slow for 4 seconds. My mistake. And he's able to Divine Palm himself again. And actually, Water Elemental combined with Zeratul may be able to take him down. He has Transcendence healing himself. Lily still here, looking to come back in, but that Radiant Dash keeping him safe. Jay Hunter instead is chasing onto Brayden here, because they were not able to get the Kharazim. So instead, it is the Asmodad who's the target. But Kharazim healing up the Asmodad. Not able to get out in time, though. And they're able to get the kill. They are in a decent position, but in the meantime, while this is happening, the Immortal is starting to die. However, Deergoth got himself very out of position and has run into Lily and Zeratul, who were able to just wipe him out massively in a very, very quick fashion. And in fact, Lily just going down to fight Kharazim here. Murky has died to Kharazim. Kharazim does take a bit of that fish to the face, so he needs to defend. He's already half health, but looks like he wants to try and duel Lily anyway, despite the fact that Lily does have a blind. Lily just microing back into minions, gets the blind, and the Water Dragon, and oh, the Divine Palm! Can she avoid the damage? The Water Dragon picks him off just as that Divine Palm finishes. And that is the worst feeling when you're picked off by a Cloud Serpent, not a Water Dragon, sorry. When you are trying to survive a Lily, and Lily now coming in, going to be able to find Zeratul, doing a lot of damage to him here. With this build, finds Tychus out of position, could use a nice whirlwind here, a nice binding wind here to try and get the Tychus or the Falstad. Gets them both, able to kill the Falstad and blind the Falstad and kill the Tychus. And down goes Falstad as well. Jay Hunter rocking it at the moment. Let's have a look at his stats again. Once again, 34,000, most hero damage in the game, keeping on top of it, and he still has 17k healing, which is not much compared to the Kharazim on the other side, but still doing a pretty good job. And we're going to see... Oh, Lily actually died there. I completely missed that the first time through. But we're going to see them get the Immortal. We're going to fast forward until Lily does get back here. And then we can rejoin her. And Lily will be back in just a couple seconds. There we go. Yep, Lily max damage. She is doing a fantastic job. Jay Hunter doing a pretty good job. And yeah, solo killing Kharazim when he was already on half health. Not an incredible feat, but it's enough. The Void Prism having to be used here. Lily is the terrifying one here. And yeah, the blind's really effective when you're against 3 heroes who are going very auto-attack focused. Jay Hunter joining up with her team here, chasing very deep, finds Kharazim. Water Dragon used very early, finds Tychus instead though, who's much lower on health at the moment. So Lily and Murky chase quite deep. Zeratul though, looking to try and finish him, but finds Kharazim instead. So Lily has to back out. Zeratul unable to finish off, and in fact nearly dies himself. Tychus gets himself stunned. Jay Hunter just going to finish off this laser while it attacks a gas soak turret before it gets too much done. Divine Palm already used, which leaves Tychus very undefended in the back here, and Kharazim taking a lot of damage. Zeratul trying to kill off Lily here, but he's surrounded by turrets, gets blinded and killed off by the Immortal stun before he can really get too far here. And once again, everyone's pretty much died. The Immortal is dead, but our heroes here are doing a fantastic job. And yeah, Gazlo's been doing really well here with the just multi-shot turrets there, doing an incredible job in terms of damage. Jay Hunter and Mr. Pumpson just going to be doing the majority of this, clearing out the Impalers. And may even attempt to try and steal the Fallen here. And that's what they're going to do. There's the blind immediately onto both heroes they're fighting here. Water Dragon comes in 70% slow. Gravo Bomb. And she has the level 20. So it was another Water Dragon coming in onto Itsuka. And Jay Hunter still fighting in this area. Gets another blind onto Kharazim, who's still trying to fight here. And the Fallen still alive. In comes Zeratul, finally finishing off the Kharazim here, who is going to get picked off. Jay Hunter dropping quite low. Heals himself up again, able to keep himself just out of Tychus' range. There's the blind to prevent the auto attacks, finishing her off. And Jay Hunter able to get out of that situation in a very nice fight. But with Zeratul here, does go down. Almost got out. And once again, Zeratul proving that he is still good. No matter how much damage you build Lily, if you have no health, Zeratul will still murder you. So for now, we're just going to see blue team pushing in this base, doing a pretty nice job here. Just going to be taking down the 4. Top lane already pushing. We see Zeratul picked off by Jaina. Top lane pushing with that Fallen camp. Bot lane, the Fallen camp just falling, but the Impalers still alive, able to take this down. Sword going way too deep onto Ducky. Ducky able to get out of there pretty nicely. But it's looking very good for the blue team. Lily still dead at the moment, not able to join up with her team. We're going to fast forward a bit. Murky picked off, but he has the proxy egg, so he's going to be rejoining any moment now. And it doesn't look like they're going to end the game yet, but the Immortals are up, so they can head over to those at any point and begin work on them. Mr. Pumpson taking a little bit of damage, but Stalks here. Vine Palm, once again, used onto the Kharazim himself, as opposed to on any of his team. The laser hits no one, and we're going to see everyone working on that. And our hero, Jay Hunter, is now back to life. Looking for an opportunity to go in and help here. Gets the blind, gets his damage. And yeah, his level 20 talent he's chosen is the Double Dragon here. Now, Double Dragon, when you hit a target with the Water Dragon, another Water Dragon is summoned at the point of impact. And Water Dragon, as we can see here, doing 140 damage and not too much at level 10, but it's a 70% slow, excuse me, for 4 seconds, which is the significant part of this build. And he can get down to 2 people. It is splash damage as well. It's not reduced on anyone. It gets both of them. And the second dragon comes out, gets all of them. And that's the combo we were talking about there. Able to pull them all in the splash damage, hitting everyone so much that Falstad has in fact either DC'd or left the game. But yeah, you can see here dealing damage to all of them, all enemies near them. It's not just reduced damage on the splash. It's that much damage to everyone in the area twice. And the 70% slow. That was pretty awesome. In fact, we're going to pause that and we're going to go back in time to watch that again. We can see there's still death timers at the top of our screen, so we know we're still a little bit out. We're getting quite close. Alright, yeah, here we go. We're pretty much here now. You can see them head in, and we're just going to watch this area because this is when it happens. Gaslow coming in. First Water Dragon only lands on Asmodad, but the second one comes out of Asmodad and catches everyone else. And that is a 5-4-0 in favor of the blue team there. Absolutely beautiful. And that is the kind of play that I really wanted to see when I asked for these replays. Amazing job by Jay Hunter there. And we're just going to fast forward, because with this Immortal, they end the game. They can in fact go for it without the Immortal. Just going to attack that, heal themselves up, work that down, and that is going to be game. The Immortal, just a little bit late, not really able to do anything there. But there you guys go. That was our first game, and that was amazing. Jay Hunter, top play there, really good job. Topped the damage charts. We're actually going to... Can I back in time after the game ends and just have a look at his damage before the end of the game? Yes, I can. So his damage before the end of the game was 46,000. He still topped the damage charts, got 30k healing, which is just under half the Kharazim, which is less than ideal, but still 46k damage compared to... Oh, sorry, he didn't top the damage chart anymore. Gaslo finally got to the end there thanks to that multi-shot on his turrets, but he still topped Jaina. Jaina's a pretty good hero to top in terms of damage and Zeratul. So... Once again, fantastic job by Jay Hunter there. So we're just going to pop out of this and load up the next replay. And this one isn't as spectacular as the first game, but it did thoroughly amuse me and I was happy to see it. It was also the only Brightwing game that I was able to receive. So we're just going to be jumping into that. We are loading into the game right now. So yeah, this has been, so far, fantastic play. And we're just going to see... there are certain ways you can tell when a game is of a lower skill level, and this game is going to give us a couple of those to notice out here. So we're just going to load everyone in here and have a look at our team. So this is the enemy team here that we are looking at. We have Cause, or X-Cause, Saru, the Trevon, Dragneel, and Ditas Boy. And that is our enemy team here, but we're more interested in the team on the right-hand side, who will be our heroes here. We have Thizzy Baby, who is playing the Pajama skin, which is adorable. Beefalo, who is some kind of cow-bison hybrid, which is sounds pretty delicious. Purple Duck, we've had 2 duck names in a row here. Castile, who is our hero for this, who sounds a bit too much like Bastille, so you have to be careful about being locked up in French prison. And our Zeratul is going to be called Pocket Waffle, which is a spectacular naming choice, but is not our hero, because Brightwing is our hero for the day, and it is Castile. But Pocket Waffle, still a pretty fantastic name. We're just going to fast forward to get into the fight. Yeah, you have a bit of an iffy team comp, but... let's see how it does work out for you. Now, we're going to stay quite zoomed in here, because there's some pretty interesting stuff that happens here to start off with. For starters, Zagara, sorry, with Valor up here, doing quite a bit of damage. Castile trying to just deal with that as much as possible. He's been just auto-attacking those, trying to kill them off. Beefalo already not doing much. You can tell, bit of AFK in the early game. And Brightwing starting off clearing the creep camps out here. But once again, you can tell this is a bit of a earlier level game because just off screen here, Zeratul is already going in for the kill on Zagara, and Castile decides to not help that in the slightest. And that is a bit less than ideal here. We're going to zoom back in on Castile here, gets the polymorph onto Valor, and starts attacking the minions, while in the background, Beefalo is diving towers, and Pocket Waffle is going in for the kill on Valor. Castile finally going in to help Pocket Waffle, and they don't actually kill anyone. Not able to finish them off in the slightest there. Let's zoom back in here, and it's amazing how much we don't see when we are not on that zoomed out camera. Zeratul once again. We see Castile just killing off these minions here, while just zoomed out here, we can zoom in. We can see barely anything happening. Zeratul trying to kill Valor, but just off our screen, Zeratul is fucking dying. He's under tower, taking huge amounts of damage. Hunter Killer trying to kill. And Castile just able to speed boost him and polymorph out that Hunter Killer to make sure he doesn't die. And it may seem I'm being a bit harsh on Castile here, but it's only because he actually makes some really, really good plays in the late game that I feel comfortable with talking about him like this. Pocket Waffle finds enemy Zeratul, and Castile now in full retreat, unable to do that much on his own, as Chen has completely abandoned him, and by abandoned him, I mean is currently still in base. As well as Pocket Waffle. Pocket Waffle just respawned. Beefalo just keeping in with the AFK strategy that he's been doing since the start of the game, and doing a fantastic job of gathering all those regen globes that he needs for his regen master talent to work. Doing a really good job picking those up. Castile just polymorphing, wasting a lot, throwing away a lot of mana here, but at least he's protecting his buildings from taking too much pressure. Mid lane, completely empty. Currently it is Abathur in that mid lane, just on his own. He's just symbioting to soak up and do as much as he can. Chen, like we expected, having a little bit of lag, and he's struggling a bit. So let's actually talk about Brightwing's talents, starting off with the Arcane Precision, increasing Arcane Flare's inner damage by 50%. Now that's a nice little bit of damage. Nice little chunking there. So maybe he can get some snipes off. Zeratul gets revealed by the mines here, and he's forced into retreat by Castile. Castile gives that movement speed buff to Pocket Waffle. Goes for the chase, but unable to find anything. And Castile will be out here. He has his teleport. Pocket Waffle in full retreat once again. Castile choosing not to cover given that movement speed buff, and instead just goes back to base anyway. And Castile took the unstable anomaly here, which is when the polymorph ends, it does 50 damage to the target and all nearby enemies. Nice little AoE when the enemy just decides to group up. Castile currently dueling with Trevian here. Nothing too serious going on. We are still just running, trying to fight over this tribute. And this is going to be one of the longest tribute fights you have ever seen in your life. Currently, Castile taking a bit of damage against the shield from Abathur to try and deal with it. Beefalo has now arrived. Purple Duck going to be denying this for quite a while. And we're just going to pause here and back up a little bit just to see exactly when this tribute fight starts, because I want you guys to take a note of this. And tribute spawning, we'll just go to when the tribute spawns. Tribute spawn now. You want to go to just before it spawned. There we go, so 8 seconds. We'll play from here, and we'll keep an eye on this tribute area, because everyone fights around this area. Bribing, teleporting to Zeratul. So tribute spawning at 2 minutes 50 exactly. So we'll keep an eye on that. Castile currently dueling with Trevian there. Trying to do his best, has to back up behind his towers to get rid of that Hunter Killer. Trevian going to get denied by Purple Duck. Purple Duck almost getting killed by Zeratul. Let's get back onto Castile again. And Castile, once again shielded by Abathur, able to get out of that pretty nicely. Beefalo denying, Purple Duck denying. The Banelings are mostly killed off by Purple Duck, who's doing a very good job here. Speed buff onto Pocket Waffle, as they are trying to get it. Castile holding this. Pocket Waffle finds Saru, who denies and is able to vault to almost freedom, and then dies anyway. Castile dropping quite low here, tries to kill off Zeratul, instead almost dying to roaches, but he also survives. Trevian denies Beefalo. Castile still just throwing out those arcane positions, and Chen choosing to just sit in the back line, just brewing, as opposed to sitting in the front line, acting as basically a buffer. And now Chen finally in the front line, but Castile can't pick up the tribute due to the fact there are roaches here. Lily coming here, Zeratul with no health, dancing around other Zeratul. We can see just as a shimmer here. Castile doing everything he can to stay alive here. Chen eats a singularity spike and chases onto Cause. And we're going to see Castile back up. Due to the fact he is Brightwing, he's able to teleport back in pretty easily. Purple Duck goes down. And this tribute fight still technically going on. Pocket Waffle choosing it to be the catalyst for Castile there. Castile able to deny the tribute once again. They're going on to Debtor's Boy. Castile, once again, going to grab the tribute, gets interrupted by a multi-shot. We did see that Tychus go down here. B-Flow trying to tank up these roaches. And Castile looking to grab this, but with Saru here, having a little bit of trouble. Trevian also around this area. Zeratul was picked off while just slightly off our screens. And Castile still trying to deny as much spots as possible. Saru being forced to retreat as he's now a bit outnumbered. Trevian, though, is still here. Lily arriving just in time to blind. And Zagara once again denying that tribute with some roaches. And this tribute fight is still going on. They're approaching level 7 quite quickly thanks to Abatha. So the longer this tribute fight does go on, once again denied, then the bigger advantage it is for Castile's team due to the fact that Castile does have that Abatha on his side. So the XP soak is pretty nicely there. And Brightwing polymorphing the Zeratul, able to get his team out of there. B-Flow dropping low. Down goes the Lily. Zeratul, Pocket Waffle, also getting dropped quite low. In comes Purple Duck again for the deny with that grenade. Almost getting killed off though. Pocket Waffle almost getting picked off as well. We have Dream Shot by Brightwing, reduces the cooldown for by 1 second for each enemy hit by the outer radius, and 3 seconds for each enemy hit in the inner radius. Coming in once again, gets that little second reduction. Dita's Boy picked off. Those roaches still denied this tribute for a while. And nope, interrupted by Zeratul, was getting very close there. Zeratul gets picked off. Trevian coming in again. Roach denies again. This tribute fight still going on. Abatha soaking in the bot lane. Lily soaking in the mid lane. Trying to keep her team up on XP. And now, looks like we're going to finally see that tribute taken at 5 minutes 50. A 3-minute tribute fight happening there from level, I think that was level 4 all the way till level 8. That was pretty awesome. That was pretty awesome. So finally, we're going to get back to the game. Castile being back to base, just going to get some health and mana. Pocket Waffle soaking up the top lane. And Tychus just in the mid lane. We're going to fast forward until we get some action. Brightwing looking for someone to teleport to. There's no one really to teleport to. So just going to chill around these areas for now. Just going to travel around the map as much as possible. And trying to get Tychus. Not able to get it with the Arcane Flare. Abatha, B-Flow able to just get it with the kick though. Able to get out of it. Brightwing choosing to just abandon this altogether and is teleported to the mid lane. Top lane still currently left completely empty for both teams. And I feel now, as level 10 is just about to hit for the blue teams, is a very good time for us to look at the hero damage here. And we can see Brightwing a bit less successful than our Lily from the last game, with currently the lowest hero damage on her team, despite building full damage and Chen being AFK for most of the game. Now that's not... Ugh. Oh, that's... Keep up the good work, Castile. You're doing fine. We believe in you. We believe you can do well in this game. We have faith. There is level 10s. And no surprise here that Brightwing is going to be picking the Emerald Wind, as that is a damage talent, and that's what I asked her to do. Not picking the healing heroic like some people did. And Arcane Flare, not used to scout the bush in the slightest there. And we're just going to pause here. And we saw that Arcane Flare land about here. So we're just going to see what's happening in this bush here. Oh, there's a guy in the bush. Oh, wow. If only we had a way to gain vision of that. If only we had a way to see what was going on inside that bush. That would be amazing, right, guys? That would be great to be able to see what's going on in that bush. Castile just gonna walk. There we go. Arcane Precision Strike. There you go. Arcane Precision able to get Saru there. And he finds Zeratul straight away. Takes quite a bit of damage. Gonna be backing up to Tychus here. Getting that little bit of healing off. Castile backing up as he's already low on health. But staying near Tychus just to make sure his healing does happen. Because Brightwing's healing is passive. So doesn't have to worry too much about building into the talents for it. Gonna try and get this tribute. But there is a Zagara there. And Zagara is annoying. Able to deny that tribute with a vast amount of minions. But in the meantime, everyone else died. Like literally, everyone except Lily was just picked off and killed off because Lily is in the bot lane, completely ignoring her team. And Valor has unfortunately left the game, which is a shame. This was Most of these games were during the time when the servers were a bit unstable, so we're seeing a lot of people leaving these games on the PCs. A bit unfortunate, but not much we can do about it. Castile coming in here. Look at his cooldown reductions pretty nicely, thanks to that level 7 talent. And once again, still has an Emerald Wind. Haven't seen it being used yet, but his team has pretty much full control. Abathur's still soaking the top lane, Tiger soaking the bot lane, and Abathur, with his symbiote on his monstrosity, was soaking the mid lane, and he's going to be able to get out of there. Brightwing teleporting down to the bot lane to join Tychus so they can just get a bit of pushing done. Let's have a look. Hero damage. Brightwing still kind of keeping up with Chen, able to do very little hero damage, but healing-wise is massively out-healing Lily. Because the difference is here, even though Lily has actually also built quite damagey actually. I expected him to go a little bit healing. There you go. Has a healing heroic, but she also hasn't been with her team for basically the entire game. So hasn't actually got that much out of the majority of these team fights. Castile in the bush, right next to Zeratul. Gonna try and duel him. There's the polymorph, which will do a bit of damage. Not too much, but it's a bit of damage, of course. Chasing Castile here. Emerald Wind to escape here, which is less than ideal, but it means Castile is alive to fight another day. And Purple Duck is there to suffer the consequences of it. Brightwing just teleporting pretty much point blank onto Pocket Waffle here to try and help him chase, but it's going to be Beefalo who carries on here. The tribute, though, already gone. Castile continuing to chase forward here, doing as much as he can, and yeah, they were unfortunately not able to get that tribute in their favour, but they did try. Here's the level 13 talents coming in for both teams, and let's see what our hero takes. Sticky Flare, movement speed is slowed by 40% for 2 seconds by any target that is basically hit by that arcane flare, which is pretty awesome. Right, ring. Castile heading up to the top lane at the moment as it is being pushed, and will make it there in time to protect it, in time to keep it safe and save it, and just in time for a tribute to spawn in that top lane. Good timing, while the rest of her team is dying, or at least the Tychus is dying completely on his own, completely without any teammates. Beefalo is on his way up. Tychus getting himself caught out. He is going to die. So we're going to jump up to the top lane here. Castile hovering around here. Beefalo finds Valorbot, who gets polymorph, takes the damage from the extra damage on the polymorph. Rain of Vengeance not hitting Castile here. Castile trying to capture it, and will once again not be died by Roaches this time, but by Tychus. And again, and we're going to see another interrupt heavy fight. Zeratul from the back trying to kill off Beefalo, but gets polymorphed, and does Data's boy to die. Castile just able to escape thanks to that Emerald Wind. Zeratul looking to die one more time, but the Trevon has her number. Beefalo looking very greedy here, able to deny again. Keep his team on top of it. Castile being back, so he knows he can teleport back in. And Zeratul, is he going to be greedy? No, Beefalo is, though, and Castile arriving just in time here. They're able to take down the Trevon. Valor getting polymorphed again, but not in time to stop Beefalo going down. Castile in full retreat, trying to get out of there. Looks like he will turn around to help Pocket Waffle there. Gets the slow onto Data's boy. Down goes Purple Duck. There's the other Zeratul, able to pick him off. And Pocket Waffle, our secondary hero, at least in the cool name factor, able to get out thanks to a very nice Void Prism. He's able to live. In the meantime, Abathur is still soaking XP. As we can see here, Abathur doing a pretty decent job in the XP count. In fact, I would say a pretty fantastic job in the XP count. Let's have a look at the damage. Brightwing, finally overtaking Chen in terms of hero damage, and also overtaking Abathur, thanks to her heroic and just good job. And is still out-healing Lily, doing a pretty fantastic job. Brightwing arriving back. Oh, what's this? What's this over here? Is that a Zeratul we see? Let's find out what happened here. We're just going to go on to all view at the moment. And we're just going to go back in time. And we're going to find out why there's a Zeratul in the base. Now, I'm sure most of you who have played Zeratul have realised that Abathur is a menace. So we're just going to watch what happens when this Zeratul attempts to find Abathur. He just misses Pocket Waffle, and is now looking for where this Abathur is, completely ignoring the fact that there are locusts in this lane. He's completely ignoring the locust factor here. Just running through here. And once again, like we said, this is likely a lower level game. So you see some mistakes that a lot of people do know, and there's a lot of situations where, as a lower level player, you haven't gotten into yet. Zeratal's about to get himself into one of those situations, where he is in a situation of, oh, I'm in the base. Oh no, there's Beefalo. That's fine, I'm stealthed, he can't see me. Not realising that the core detects.
Red team.
And this is a situation where you realise mistakes have been made. You get out of there, and you're like, oh good, I'm out. I can just recloak and get out of here. And then you realise, oh no, the core's range is pretty long. And he's still revealed just in time for Castile to come back to life. And let's watch the result of this. Zeratal attempting to get out of here. He re-stealths, gets revealed by Tychus, and Tychus, with the help of Castile, able to finish him off. And this is the times when mistakes are made. I'm sorry that the boards change sides, by the way. It does this sometimes. It's a little bit irritating. Not much I can do about it. Just keep an eye on where the Brightwing is. And you should be able to work out who is on what side. Castile, just grabbing the watchtower for now. We're going to fast forward, get to an action point. Looks like they're going to try and kill off Lily here. Lily being out of most of the fights, able to get her. Castile without a mount, not able to keep up very well, but has managed to hit level 16. And let's have a look at what the talent is as the next tribute is spawning. It is the Critterize. Polymorph makes targets more vulnerable, increasing their damage. A very good choice when you have a Zeratal on your team, or even a Tychus, thanks to that Q ability. And Castile, for I think the 4th time this game, gonna be denied by roaches. And Zagara, in the meantime, Zagara's entire team has mostly died, and Zagara is completely trapped away from any form of civilization, and is still just spending all of her time bullying Brightwing to prevent her from taking that tribute. And Castile finally going to be taking this. Purple Duck will be the one who grabs it, but Castile still being there, able to pick it up and pick up the curse, the first curse of the game, I believe.
Let your enemies
So now, we're going to see our heroes here to try and push this lane. They found Lily again, gets the slow, very nice for Brightwing, and with that Critterize, able to do a very nice amount of damage there. Nice little chunking damage. So now, they're just going to move on to the boss here and just try and take that down as quick as possible. They shouldn't have too much trouble with it. We can zoom out here, we can see there's not too much danger in the area. So they're not having too much trouble at all. We're just going to fast forward through this as they just finish that off without too much danger to themselves or to the pushing cause. And now, find Valabot. And Valabot starting up Castile, but able to push to kill him off. And Castile continuing to push forward here. Is just doing a good job, keeping his team healed up, doing any damage he can. And Zeratal getting a polymorph there. He has also become a bot, unfortunately. And we're seeing our heroes push in with the boss, doing a fantastic job. Able to kill off pretty much everything. Castile just focusing this down, healing up Purple Duck, not diving deep, not taking unnecessary risks. Just doing some nice little play here. Void Prism catches a lot of members, and Castile hovering around here, deciding not to do the whole dive behind and use your Emerald Wind strategy. Is just going to continue pushing forward. Polymorphs and Zeratal, does a bit of damage to him, but Zeratal bot able to get out of there. They're pushing onto the core, but the boss is quite low. The question is, will they be able to finish off? Lily is dying down. Down goes the Valor. And are they going to be able to finish the game here? Boss does die. And we're going to see Castile and his team begin to back out of the situation. Purple Duck taking quite a bit of damage. He is able to dash. Castile throws out his slow, doesn't land it, but looks like they are still able to get out of there without too much trouble and able to, in fact, take the risky move of grabbing this mercenary camp. However, as we can see here, there are people willing to resist. Let's have a look at where everyone else is. We can see Tychus heading in from the bot, Zeratal heading in from the bot. Trevian is currently in full retreat after being hit by most of the abilities in the face. So we're just going to jump back onto Lady here and watch see how this works out. And they are doing a pretty good job. They're trying to group up. Zeratal not coming to contest this. In comes Banelings to try and stop this. Detus Boy going to be interrupted as well. Zeratal just completely ignoring this and not coming to help in the slightest. And Castile still playing very nicely. Let's have a look at his damage. His damage currently on 14k. Still ahead of Chen, still ahead of Abatha, but nowhere near his other damage dealers. Doing a pretty nice job there. Lots of damage coming down. We see Chen picked off very quickly here. Castile in full retreat here. Emerald Wind just to give his team a chance to escape, give Purple Dock a way to get out here. And they are able to do so. 2 tributes already taken for the red team, so our heroes need to be careful here. Brightwing linking onto Pocket Waffle there and has her level 20 talent available. And that level 20 talent is going to be eventually taken. There we go. It is the continuous winds. There's 2 extra Novas of the Emerald Wind, able to just do that extra damage and have that extra push away. And the tribute has come up again. Once again, blue team need to hold this because if red team get it, it will be their first curse of the game. There's the polymorph onto the Valor there. Castiel taking a bit of damage. Void Prism used. Zeratul is behind them. Lily, their Valor trying to take this before the Void Prism ends, but unfortunately will get interrupted. Castiel looking for an angle to engage upon. Zeratul took down other Zeratul. While this is happening, Beefalo coming back to life. Lily trying to get a heal off. The Emerald Wind doing a very good job pushing the Zagara back, and they're able to get she's able to get the full Q off there onto everyone. Kill off Zagara, and only Chen is pulled into that more. Castiel moving in with Aberfrod ahead, able to grab that tribute, and that will be another tribute and a almost full team wipe, which may turn into a full team wipe if Beefalo is able to get Dragon Eel. Doesn't look like it, and that is a 4-man kill for our hero team here. Able to grab that, and now they'll just move on to the boss. They don't really need to. They could have just pushed top lane with their minions here, but grabbing the boss is going to help them push even harder. It's a good opportunity to take it, so they're feeling pretty comfortable with it. Brightwing getting rooted there by the boss, unfortunately, but they are still doing really fine here. And I don't think I've actually seen this Chen use his heroic yet. Not really done much. Castiel just teleporting back to his team, getting mana, something Brightwing is very, very good at, just able to just disappear. Next tribute up. Once again, we see our team head down here to try and interrupt it, as it will be a curse tribute for the red team if they're able to get it. Brightwing, Emerald Winding, not able to really catch anyone too much here, but still doing a decent amount of damage. There's Chen with his heroic, the upgraded heroic, in fact. Doing as much as he can. Void Prism only used on Chen. Brightwing in the back, able to catch Dragon Eel there, doing a decent amount of damage. Zagara is in the background, taking the tribute there, and it looks like she will be able to grab it. And red team getting the tribute. In the meantime, though, the boss is still pushing into the core and doing a pretty fine job with it. Let's have a look at where red team are. We see a couple of them did come back to base here to try and defend due to, well, their buildings were dying. Abatha with that monstrosity doing a pretty decent job there. Boss will go down without doing too much damage to the core, but it still bought some time for our heroes to do very little, actually. Zeratul's sort of clearing waves, not really getting too much done there. The core took a little bit of damage, and yeah, exactly what Brightwing said. They have had their time wasted, so they're not able to do too much due to the fact they had to defend. So this curse basically wasted the entire duration. Zeratul clearing the only wave that was pushed. So a very nice job there by our hero team. Able to time that pretty nicely. So I'm just going to take some mercenaries for now. Brightwing will be back in just a second. And we will just fast forward through this. And the curse still going on for the next 2 seconds. We can see them trying to push both top and bot lane. We can see they're about to meet a very unfortunate end. Trevian goes down. Peter's boy is almost definitely going to go down. Zeratul, though, still able to push top lane, so he's not having too much trouble. He will be able to get that pretty easily. And with no one defending, him and Dragon Eel will be able to get their team at least a little bit of XP. They have the level 20s now. But Brightwing, joining up with Tychus, looks like they're just going to try and take the enemy boss. And this will attack straight onto an exposed core. So that's going to be a bit of an issue for the side of the red team here. And Castiel just damaging that as much as he can. Let's have a look at his hero damage once again. He's on 23, still ahead of Chen. He's now behind Brightwing again because he has been dead quite a bit. But has done a pretty decent job coming back into this. And they're able to get that tribute. We see who died there. It was Tychus getting picked off. And Brightwing just going to be back to base here in case you needed to defend. Boss is just going to attack a completely exposed bottom lane. And this is just good play here. We're not seeing any spectacular moves. It's just good play. The Abatha monstrosity here, pushing out these two people, pushing the top lane. Lily having to use her Junk Phantom Cups, gets polymorph, gets slowed by Castiel here. They're going for the chase. Zeratul arriving. He goes down. Lily, Brightwing gets Shrink Raid here, but she has her polymorph up in 3 seconds. So they want to try and get Zeratul bot here. Zeratul bot goes down. In the meantime, the rest of that bot lane, once again, it is a boss onto a completely exposed core. Trevian and Dieter's Boy defending this. Brightwing and Purple Duck have arrived. Brightwing teleported to Purple Duck, in fact, to get this push going. They have a Siege Giant camp to help with this. Zagara actually get a lot of damage from that root. Needs to be very careful. And that's just even more damage on to that core. Core down to 45, 44. The Siege Giant camp still going, in fact. This one finally getting distracted. And in the meantime, the rest of our hero team just grabbing the top giants as well. And they're just going to push while the Lady and Zeratul are dead. This is fine. They have everyone alive. This is not a situation that is going to cause them too much grief. Castile pushing in here to try to get any kind of harass. Avoid the Maw used directly onto Zeratul. But Trevian taking all the damage from everyone. And now with Siege Giants, with most of the team alive, we're just going to see our hero team move on to the core, and they will be able to take that down. So a very nice job there by Castile, and that will be a second win for our heroes here. Castile in full retreat here, but it doesn't matter because Siege Giants are pretty fantastic, as well as Catapult. Zeratul trying to defend this, but there's no minions, so these guys will just go straight onto the core. Next throw will do it, and that is game over. The Emerald wins. No one doing too much, just catching Data's Boy to prevent him chasing too far. So once again, another fantastic job by our hero team. And that is going to be the end of part 1. We had 2 fantastic games coming in from 2 fantastic players. The second game, not the highest skill level, but that's the point. We're not looking for the best of high skill level games. We're looking for the interesting games, and that was quite interesting. Brightwing landing a lot of very good arcane flares there, doing a very good job with the majority of her abilities, and some incredible polymorphs throughout the entire game. And of course, the build was just on point with what I asked for. So guys, I have 4 more replays to go through. That'll be over the next 2 days, but I will give you the challenge for next week right now, so you guys can start on it and do as best as you can. So I want you guys to, for next week, I want you to find, I want you to take any hero who has any kind of lifesteal, talent, trait, ability, anything like that, excluding Blood for Blood, and I want you to use that to the best of your abilities. So I'm just gonna quickly take you into the hero screen here and show you exactly what I mean. For example, Misha, she can have the talent of the Hungry Bear. Basic attacks heal you for 4% of her maximum health. I will take that. I will count that as a lifesteal. Illidan, his trait is a healing ability, and of course that can be healed up. He heals for 25%, and he can heal up for 30% with his level 4 talent. We have the Zeratul, who can get the 25% with his Vampiric Assault, and of course the Vampiric Strike that you can get. Vampiric Assault, Vampiric Assault for someone like Falstad, Vampiric Strike for someone like Zeratul and Tyrael. So I want you to take those, use those, and just try and make it interesting. You can feel free to just go full auto attack. You can try and make it full sustain, full tankiness. I just want to see you guys using that lifesteal style to your advantage. And if any of you want to try and get creative with that, and I'm leaving it purposefully quite loose. The only limit I'm saying is Blood for Blood can't be your only thing. So I'm leaving it quite loose as to what that could mean. So anything, basically most things that do damage and heal you at the same time will be accepted. So feel free to be very creative with what abilities you use in that. I'm just looking for fun, creative games where you use those abilities. So full damage with heals, full tankiness, full sustain. Show me what you guys have. So once again, guys, thank you very much for watching. Come back tomorrow for part 2 of our full damage support challenges. I have been Tetcher, and I will see you tomorrow.